What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web. That's gonna make us question everything. So you can sit back. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Let's seek the truth.
Check this out. Someone just open sourced the software that lets you see through walls while using your own Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no infrared, just pure radio waves. It's an open source project, meaning anyone can get it, called RuView. And it was just published on GitHub. It literally turns standard everyday Wi-Fi signals into a low-cost radar system. It uses AI models to analyze something called channel state information. You see, every time a Wi-Fi signal bounces around a room, your body subtly changes those signals because humans are mostly made of water. The AI studies these tiny disturbances and translates them into real-time 3D mapping, meaning they know exactly where you're standing and what you're doing. But it gets even crazier than that. The software doesn't just track your movement. The AI can actually isolate the rhythmic movement of your chest and read your breathing rate and track your heart rate from anywhere. It could be an incredible tool for things like elderly care and search and rescue, but it also means our physical privacy is entirely up for grabs. Would you trust this technology to be inside your house without you knowing? Control.
Let me give you my answer. No! That's scary, bro. Somebody could just track us, man, with Wi-Fi using the AI model, bro. Our privacy, man, it goes down every single day, bro. Like the barrier of entry, man, just to get into our houses, it's so low, it's scary.
The entire world. Many people know about the Pope, but what if he's not the only Pope? Rumor has it that there are three popes in existence. The White Pope, which everyone knows, the Black Pope, and the Grey Pope, each trumping each other in terms of power. The White Pope is the leader of the Vatican Church, and the Black Pope is the leader of the Society of Jesuits. However, when it comes to the Grey Pope, it is a whole different story. Well, you see, the Grey Pope, or more commonly known as Pepe Orsini, is the latest heir from a long bloodline of black nobility that are the movers and shakers behind world control, with their dynasty going way back to even.
The rise of the Kardashian family has never really made sense because their origins hide something much darker than we ever imagined. A lot of people have noticed it because this family is an anomaly. There's no musical talent, no major blockbuster movies behind them, and yet they became the most famous family in the world. When you really think about it, nothing can logically explain it, and that's exactly why some people started looking deeper, much deeper. In fact, there's a story that has been circulating for years about this family's origins in Armenia, long before Los Angeles, long before the cameras. An ancestor of their bloodline is said to have made a pact to save her family from disappearing, survival, and eternal fame in exchange for devotion to something that cannot be named here. But in that kind of pact, nothing is ever free. The price would supposedly be complete success for the women of the bloodline, but the systematic destruction of every man who comes close to them. And when you look at the facts, that's exactly what seems to happen. Every man who enters this family eventually falls apart. Kanye West, Lamar Odom, Scott Disick, the list never ends. Meanwhile, the women continue to rise higher and higher, becoming more and more powerful. At the center of it all is Kris Jenner. Some people believe she's more than just a businesswoman, that she is the keeper of this legacy, the one who makes sure the ritual of worldwide attention never stops. Because if the cameras turn off and the world forgets their faces, everything falls apart. You don't build an empire, build it on something that can no longer be undone. And this family has probably been hiding that secret for decades.
You guys believe in the Kardashian curse, man? We have noticed, bro, especially when it comes to athletes, bro, when they just end up with a Kardashian, it don't end well. And everybody always says, man, like, why do people keep paying attention to them, bro? Like, what's their talent? But you all know how they got put on. So, tell me down below. Orbs?
The Collins family. Now, who are the Collins? Well, there's a fellow called Christopher Columbus, who in Spanish is called Cristobal Colon. He came from one of the papal families called the Colonna family. And they were the enemies of the Orsini family, who considered Charles and the Windsors come from the Orsini family. So does Tom Cruise, by the way. He's an Orsini. The Collins family, who are also called the Cohens, the priests, the Levites, the Cohens, the Collins, the Colon, becomes Columbia, District of Columbia, the Knights of Columbus, Columbia Pictures, British Columbia, Columbia in South America, and the Collins family still runs America. Thank you, Christopher Collins, otherwise known as Christopher Columbus. Guess who runs the United States?
This entity was sealed away in glass, and according to the Imperial Treasury of Vienna, they attest that this is a real demon that was trapped during an exorcism in the 17th century in Germany. According to historians, this strange object dates back to the 1600s. It was originally part of a collection of Archduke Leopold Wilhelm. Records describe it as something called a spiritus familiaris, sealed inside the glass. And according to historical accounts, this wasn't just a decorative or symbolic piece. It is believed to be a spirit that has been driven out of a possessed person during an exorcism and then trapped inside the glass to keep it contained using a real.
It's going to allow us to communicate with telepathy, with people, and with robots. No thank you. I'm here at the Museum of the Future in Dubai. This right here, this system, is the first payment implant under your skin for contactless payment. There's a reason that Neo and John Connor tried to take out the robots of the future, because artificial intelligence is here. Yesterday I visited the Museum of the Future located in Dubai, which is architecturally stunning, but it's more of an immersive experience than a museum. The opening date on the space shuttle that you launch from is 2/22/2071 in the future. 222 is my son's birthday. Part of the exhibit was preserving life. They have 2,000 different species that are located in jars that are to extract DNA. It very much gave Jurassic Park vibes, and had an octopus, or as I call Cousin Bubba, the alien. They had fragments of actual spaceships in there. Here's me on NPC mode. One of the booths you could actually choose to take a mission to go to space, which I would do anytime if space is even real. But getting back to what I said about robots trying to take over the future, this is a peregrine falcon along with the spider and the robot dog that are designed to collect data. And as you know, the peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world that they would use as drones. Now, it's a beautiful museum, and I was always fascinated by technology, but no.
That was scary, bro. He said they put some under your skin for contactless payment. I'm not getting that serious. I don't care how freaking advanced the technology get, bro. Put some under your skin to make a payment. That ain't it, bro.
Got another one for you. Another one. You're gonna look right here. You can probably already see this one, and you see this one next to him also, that bird right there. We're gonna go in on this one. You see his nose, his lips? Look at that, guys. No lie. No lie, guys. Look at the eye. Look at the eye, guys. Look at the definition of that eye.
I see it.
Cannot make this stuff up. Cannot make it up. Anyways, stay vigilant.
Okay, I see it now. They're putting it in front of us, man. That's an intro?
They're all different rooms out here. They're building a hospital. They're building, it's a military hospital. They're building all sorts of research facilities, also meeting rooms and rooms that
go hand in hand for the military using the ballroom. And the ballroom is really a shield and protecting all of the things that are built here. This goes, as you see, it's already up to the ground. This goes down very deep. You get a better view right over here. This is down because we've already done these floors. But these are already down 2 floors. It's down about 6 stories deep. That's big stuff.
So there's gonna be a bunker under the ballroom. I'm pretty sure there's already like secret bunkers already all over the White House. So they're just adding some more under Trump's ballroom. That's just interesting, man. Maybe, but he said they're gonna add a hospital, a military room. How much construction is gonna have to go into that for that to happen, bro? A full hospital? That's a lot of room, man. Never knew that. If I wouldn't have watched these clips, bro.
It seems that someone tries to make a film about witchcraft. Because they try to market it, they have to distort it. It is something that is very, very sacred.
That film, I'm like, this girl's the real deal. I know on the set when I would come by, she'd be reading from the Kabbalah. She was living it.
It's strange to hear this coming from me because I used to believe that you're born, you live, you die, that's it. But I have witnessed things that have proven different.
Guys, I've got one question. Do we really know what they're subconsciously putting inside these things that we consume in our living rooms every single day? You just heard how serious she was taking a role, and he basically admitted that they used witchcraft in this movie. So ask yourself, how many films like that did he do similar things? She clearly took it serious. She said it's very sacred to her, but we just think it's all entertainment. What are you openly inviting into your home when you watch these things?
What you are looking at could become the world's first lawless floating city, and it's intended to change the way we live forever. It's called the Freedom Ship, and when it was first conceptualized all the way back in the 1990s, the idea was to create a permanent floating city in international waters so people could escape from every government on Earth and live freely away from things like taxes, laws, and regulations. And because in 2026, that sounds more appealing than ever, the plans to build this ship are now being revived. It can carry over 80,000 passengers or citizens. Keep in mind, the largest current cruise ship can only carry 7,600. It would be about 1 mile long and 800 feet wide and have almost everything a city could offer. Multiple hotels, a 15,000 seat sports stadium, water parks, helipads, a symphony hall, an aquarium, restaurants, and the list goes on. Oh, and to top it all off, it would be nuclear powered. But there's 2 major drawbacks. Firstly, the estimated cost to build this Freedom Ship is $16 billion. And secondly, the whole no laws idea might sound fun at first, until some crazy shit happens on here that you can't go back from. For example, the company behind this project is saying that they're already being hit up by medical research firms, specifically because this ship would operate outside of any regulatory body on Earth. So, don't know what those experiments would be. But the question is a lawless floating city a good idea or not?
Nope. And let me give you the answer, bro. We've seen it in the movies, The Purge, man. What happens when lawlessness can just happen out of nowhere, bro. So I would not be going on that boat, man. Whoever goes on that boat, good luck. You're gonna need it.
Many big store owners who stole $2,000 from Brian and tried to come after Ben have just gotten fired, and the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs says they're gonna pay Brian back. Here's their statement. Now, you think they gave a heartfelt apology will make it right? No. They start this statement blaming Brian, saying, oh, we've been asking for documentation from you for a long time and you didn't give it. But now, with our internal operations, we have a clear picture so we can compensate you and make you whole. They say now that they have a clear picture, they're ready to drop their lawsuit and sit down and make it right with Brian. Wow, it only took all of this. They say, let's sit down and go through the spreadsheet of the POS and see exactly what was there and exactly what we owe you to make you whole. Translation, we're still going to get one over on you, not pay you fully. Then they say, whatever's in the store, whether it's yours or not, you can have it. I love this story change. The answers keep changing. First it was we didn't steal from you. Then it was we never had your Legos. And it's, well, we don't have your Legos. They're somewhere else. No, we have your Legos. We're going to give them back to you. It just keeps going round and round. They're blaming it on the other 2 guys saying they didn't compensate them, but they will. I don't trust this. I smell a rat.
You know, and plot twist, bro. Didn't the CEO he stepped down or something like that? Because everybody was on the guy's side who they took the Legos from, man. So, but that's kind of crazy, man. That the whole YouTuber, you had to turn to a YouTuber, bro, to find justice, man, to get their Legos back. That's crazy to think about, and that just shows the power of YouTube, man. The power of the truth, bro. One video, bro, took down the whole CEO, man. I think, like you said, he had to step down, yeah. Because people were not rocking with that, man, at all. Damn, it's burning the metal too, bro. It's melting it, actually. No way it's gonna melt the watch.
Palm Beach Pete says he's running for mayor of Palm Beach in 2028. And nobody's talking about how insane that actually is. Because all of this started with him going viral for one reason. People said he looks exactly like Epstein. But instead of just avoiding it, he leaned into it. He started posting TikToks saying that it's not him, and he started feeding into the exact thing that made people uncomfortable in the first place. Somehow that turned into interviews, podcasts, and even mainstream TV. He even ends up on Jimmy Kimmel, and that's where things get pretty weird. Because Jimmy hands him a shirt, and look at what it says.
Anyway, we have a gift for you that maybe you wanna do something with and share with your fans. We made you a T-shirt, and I'm gonna send this to you. It's for people who love Palm Beach Pete, but want nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. What do you think?
I love it. It's fantastic.
A guy famous for resembling Epstein getting handed a shirt with that written on it on national television. And everyone's laughing. And even Pete says he loves it. Just to have this guy running for the mayor of Palm Beach, the same place Epstein owned and operated his mansion. And the scary part is, it doesn't even feel weird anymore.
It's 2026. We should all know that TVs, cell phones, and laptops are black mirrors. Not just black mirrors, but portals. Yes, when you use your technology uses you. You can get some tape and put it over your camera. That's not the mirror. The screen is the mirror. So right now we are dealing with UFOs, orbs, interdimensional being, all kind of technology that seem more real than real life. This shit seemed like a Black Mirror episode. How many people seen Black Mirror? I did. I've seen every season, every episode, and it's kind of scary. It seemed like that TV show predicted the future. Or did they? Or maybe they are using technology we forgot about. When you use your cell phones, your laptops, your TVs, you are dealing with interdimensional being. It's like a three-way mirror. You see them, they see you, but they see your potential. But let me tell you what the real Black Mirror is all about. This is the reason why media keep giving us these bullshit stories. Fear, 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 fear. Hate, 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 hate. No food, gas prices high, can't pay your rent. And they put this shit on the news. So we all sit back and watch like this. That's because we don't realize the Black Mirror is really the eye. So these people that control this world, they know how to talk to interdimensional beings using a black mirror. But they don't want to tell you this. When you close your eyes, what do you see? Darkness. That darkness is the black mirror. It's called a deep meditation. We make things manifest through our eyes. Or I should say, when we go back in darkness. When you go to sleep, you are traveling in so many different realities. This is how the elites hijack your spiritual world. It give us so many downloads that's not really good for us. But when we go to sleep, those downloads are playing in our subconscious mind. So many people ask this question right here. Why is life so hard? Why it seem like we have no angelic help? That's because we don't understand how the black mirror work. Every time you go to sleep, you can actually contact angelic beings, angelic warriors, ancestors. We can get all kind of protection, but when we go to sleep, all we see is the nonsense the media give us. They hijack our black mirror.
Stop watching the news, man. We need a detox. Did he just stole it? Yeah, he stole it, bro. We ain't getting it back.
Just learned something kind of crazy about numbers. Okay, so if you take any number at all above 9, and you add up the digits that are in that number, and then you take that number and subtract it from the original number, and then add up those digits, the answer will always be 9. I'll use the number 55 for an example. So you add up 5 plus 5 equals 10. You take that 10 and subtract it from 55, and you get 45. And then 4 plus 5 equals 9. Number 83, 8 plus 3 is 11. 83 minus 11 is 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. It's not just double digit numbers. It works with however many digits you want. I'll use 5,672. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2 is 20. 5,672 minus 20 is 5,652. 5 plus 6 is 11. Plus 5 is 16. Plus 2 more is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Isn't that so weird? It doesn't matter which number you choose. As long as you follow those steps, the answer is always 9.
There is a belief that people with Rh negative blood, which is only 15% of the population that have this Rh negative, were actually related back to aliens. That an ancient civilization got it on with the aliens. And it's come through that line, and there's a place called Basque, I think you pronounce it. It's in the north of Spain, south of France.
The Basque country, as they call it.
Correct, yes. There's a concentration of it of 35%. And they speak a very unusual language that does not relate back to any part of Europe. And, it's got no basis from Europe. It just stands alone as a unique language.
Fascinating.
So perhaps the aliens, the north of Spain for a holiday.
We just learned recently, man, how they using 23andMe, man. The government, bro, is using that to check to see the alien lines in your family genes. So that's not the first time we heard that they're using, I guess, blood or some type to track to see your alien lineage or to see if you have some. That's crazy. So if you have Rh negative, they said, I guess you have a trace of alien in your bloodline. I'm about to check out my blood, bro. See what I am, man.
Once paid a psychic to force feed ghosts their Whoppers. It was 2019. Burger King was promoting this ghost Whopper with a white cheddar cheese bun. So they hired a man who said he could be possessed by ghosts. And the idea was the ghost would possess him, and then they would eat the Whopper. And they called it a ghost taste test. I guess it was supposed to give its opinion on the Whopper. And here's a little bit of how that went.
Would you be comfortable channeling spirits to taste test the ghost Whopper?
Channeling a ghost to eat a burger. Channeling a ghost to freaking eat a burger, bro.
And to me, the fascinating thing about this is this. If you don't believe in ghosts, this is just a silly-looking man doing funny voices and eating Burger King. But if you do believe in ghosts, we're dragging people from their eternal slumber for a bit, clawing people from their peaceful eternity to promote a Halloween novelty Burger King menu item. All Burger Kings are cursed. If you believe in ghosts, you also have to believe that all Burger Kings are cursed and have been cursed since 2019.
Mason?
No, that's not Mason, man.
This video has been terrifying TikTok for weeks. It shows a group of friends exploring an abandoned drainage tunnel in Seattle, Washington, a city known for having entire underground sections people barely talk about. They were just recording with their phones, laughing, messing around until someone suddenly noticed that Mason was missing. The tunnel went silent. Then a faint echo came from somewhere deep inside, like someone trying to speak. But too far away, they followed the sound, the camera shaking harder with every step. And then the beam of the phone light landed on him. Mason was sitting in the corner, curled up completely still. But when the camera got close, he slowly lifted his head, and his eyes were glowing red, staring at the group at a broken, impossible angle. Not human, not alive, just wrong.
How long have you been here? Mason! Dog! Mason?
No, that's not Mason, man.
Imagine standing in the quiet evening air of South Korea when suddenly two glowing orbs appear in the twilight sky. Not planes, not stars, something that shouldn't exist. A lone witness points their camera upward. Two unusual elliptical objects glowing with a soft, otherworldly light glide across the sky in perfect coordination, and they move as if they're connected by some invisible force. Silent, graceful, almost alive. Now, slowing it down, watch how these orbs pulse with a steady inner glow. They blink, fading in and out like they're phasing through dimensions, and then they vanish completely. No streak, no fade-out trail. Seconds later, they reappear in an entirely new position, as if they stepped through space itself. Play it forward, now reverse it. The movement remains impossible either way, and these aren't drifting balloons caught in the wind. They show deliberate coordination, and they aren't conventional drones. No wings, no rotors, no exhaust, just pure, intelligent light. According to the official MOVEON report, the witness described two unusual elliptical objects resembling UFOs, and they exhibited unique flight patterns, blinked on and off, faded from sight entirely, then reappeared in a new position, all in complete silence under the clear evening sky. No other witnesses came forward, yet the footage stands alone as some compelling evidence of something truly anomalous. Now, skeptics might suggest lanterns, drones, or reflections, or even swamp gas, but these orbs move with purpose. They vanish and teleport in ways that defy conventional explanation. Are these probes from somewhere else? Advanced technology testing in our skies? Or something far more ancient and mysterious watching over us? Who knows?
Woman ends up driving her vehicle on the train track. Crazy thing is, she says that she was just following the GPS. I've never heard of a GPS taking me to the railroad tracks. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's look at this video. This is how they gotta get it on.
You want me to take this ride?
Like, I just don't understand how this can happen. My question is, how did your vehicle actually get there? When it comes to this, like, I'm so confused. And what happens now? Like, does your vehicle, is your car totaled? Do you get fined for this? Do you get a ticket for this? Like, what happens next? I'm not gonna lie. If she was telling the truth, which was that she was following her GPS, if she was following her GPS, whoever owns that GPS needs to be investigated. Or whoever made it, manufactured it, or whatever. Let's say it's Google Maps, Apple Maps, you need to be investigated. Because there is no way that you led me to the train tracks. And then on top of that, she was still driving on the train tracks. Do y'all not realize how bad this actually could have been? Imagine if a train was coming. Then what? She would have been 100% at fault if a train would have hit her. That's just what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. What GPS was she using? Because ain't no way. Y'all need to be careful out here, man, because AI. Because that's what half of y'all be saying, oh, this AI. No, this is not AI. This is real. You can look this up. I had to tell somebody about this on Threads saying that something I posted was AI. It was not AI. Like, stop it. And I come with facts if I respond. That's if I respond. Like and follow for more.
How did that even happen, bro? The part that got to me was she said that she was still driving in the train tracks, bro. And the GPS took it in and she thought that was a good idea to say, hey, you know what? We sticking to it, man. We following the plan, bro. That's crazy, man. And people just blew it off as AI. No, I can believe that. Somebody actually did it, bro.
Is it just me, or are people just getting a bit too comfortable when they're out in public? And why do I say that? Because a guy went to his local Home Depot to get a replacement shower head. And while he was in the aisle, he noticed a woman entering all of the shower displays. And some of the stuff she was doing in the shower displays let's just say, shouldn't have been done in public. Take a look at this video for yourself. Check this out. This is normal. You want to go in and make sure the size is right if you're replacing your shower. Many of us have been there and done that. But keep an eye on what she starts to do. I can understand that. If you're going to be shaving your legs, is there enough room? But what in the world is this? And this is the part of the video right here that has everyone talking. What is she doing? Some people have pointed out that she was probably trying to see what the actual height was, especially for children who are that size. That's why she got down on one knee. Others are claiming she was just doing that so she can also see how easy it is to clean the shower. Have another look at it again, and you draw your own conclusions as to what you think she's actually doing.
First couple seconds, cool. She just checking it out. That's the part where you lost me, bro.
So I guess my question to you is, are people making too much of this video? Or is it just normal behavior when you're trying to check out a shower you might be purchasing? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
They're all around us, bro. Bro, I look like a skinwalker right there. Not Braun, bro. Really? What the heck? Chris Rock? Okay. So did we just get confirmation about that? Or was he just, playing it off as a joke? Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video, comment down below, hit that post notification bell, guys. Please also join the Discord so you guys can send clips and it can be featured in the next video. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.
That one day could save your life.
Talk about it.
If you ever have to eat crickets or similar insects, chew them. Do not swallow them alive. They have spines on their legs which can cling to your throat, blocking your airways, causing you to suffocate to death. If your water ever smells like cinnamon, do not drink it. People often use it to cover up the scent of poison. Everyone hates red eyes in photos, but if your pupils reflect white in a picture, it could be a sign that something is seriously wrong with your eyes, such as cataracts, retina problems, or even eye cancer. If there's ever a shirt or object on the windshield of your car, get in immediately without removing the object. This is a common method that kidnappers use to distract you from getting in your car. If you're ever scuba diving and a giant octopus tries to grab a hold of you, do not try to pry him off. The key to survival is to get him off of one of his anchor points like a rock or a pipe, because he can't pull you down without using the leverage from his anchor.
Interesting. We find octopuses out here.
Psychology hacks you need to know. If someone is trying to make you decide something in a hurry, they're probably giving you a bad deal. Walk away. If someone's starting to have a panic attack, start breathing loudly and regularly. The person that is panicking will subconsciously start breathing with you. When someone in a group of people laughs, they tend to look at the person that they like the most. Nervousness and excitement have the same body reaction, so if you're nervous for a speech, try to convince yourself that you're actually excited. If you can get someone to contribute the idea, they are more likely to accept it. If you think someone is watching you, fake a yawn and then watch them. If you whisper to someone, it's likely that they'll whisper back, even when they have no reason to keep their voice down. Follow for more.
Really whispering? That helps?
Weird facts about the world, part 1. It snows in the Sahara Desert. Coca-Cola does not exist in only 2 countries. Colombia's brightest rainbow is in a river. You're always 7 years behind Ethiopia.
What the hell? So what year is Ethiopia in there right now?
Can someone please explain to me how a person can get stuck inside a turned-on walk-in oven? At around 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, police were called to this Walmart on Mumford Road in Halifax after a 19-year-old woman was found inside one of their walk-in ovens in the bakery section. Police say that the 19-year-old woman was already deceased when they arrived, and they're still investigating what happened. This Walmart has been closed since Saturday. I genuinely don't understand how someone can lock themselves inside a turned-on oven. If you have experience working with these walk-in ovens, please let me know how it works, because I literally have no words.
Her son vanished and was found dead 6 years later. In a disturbing twist, police now believe she has been murdered. Lola Karabiva is a 61-year-old woman described by loved ones as beautiful, kind, an amazing woman and a true friend. She was originally from Uzbekistan and didn't actually have any other relatives in the US apart from her husband, 65-year-old Vladimir. She was last seen alive on October the 12th at her house in Philadelphia. She'd just come back from a trip to Europe, which she had been really looking forward to, and neighbours believe she'd been away for roughly 2 or 3 weeks. She was reported missing and police immediately started looking into where the woman may be. The first port of call was her home, and after 2 unsuccessful searches, they finally had a breakthrough on the 3rd search. They made a horrifying discovery on the 16th of October. Her lifeless body was found wrapped in plastic and taped up in a wardrobe in her home. Police also discovered a dark stain on the floor which they believe may have been blood. So what could the motive be for this horrific murder, and who could have committed it? Interestingly, police are looking into the possibility that an argument could have started between Vladimir and his wife. It's thought that this may have been around her late son. Now, the son disappeared back in 2004 and was then found dead 6 years later. He'd actually been out hiking and was tragically just 19 years old when he vanished. It's reported that the 12th of October would have been his birthday. Vladimir has been arrested and charged with abuse of a corpse, and although there's obviously suspicions surrounding him, he's not actually been charged with her murder as yet. Sola's cause of death is yet to be determined.
Stories that sound fake are 100% true. In August 2010, a small passenger plane in the Democratic Republic of Congo was getting ready to take off. But just about 2 hours into their flight, tragedy struck. People living in a nearby town saw the plane plummet to the ground in a nosedive. There were 18 people aboard and only 1 survived the crash. Authorities couldn't determine what caused the plane to crash. The fuel tank was full and there wasn't anything wrong with the engine. But just 2 days after the crash took place, the lone survivor of the crash woke up from their coma and explained what happened. The man explained that towards the end of their flight, a flight attendant was checking in with the passengers when she suddenly freaked out and ran to the cockpit. The passengers on the plane began to look around to see what was wrong, and they immediately figured it out. Walking towards them from the back of the plane down the aisle was a live crocodile.
What?
Panicking, all of the passengers ran towards the front of the plane away from the animal. This caused a sudden shift of weight inside of the small plane, which led to them crashing. Don't bring crocodiles on planes.
Who brought a crocodile on a plane, and how did that even get past security or something like that? That's... If you heard that story, somebody told that story to you, like just walking, or you heard it, or like you said, you wouldn't believe it. That story doesn't even sound real at all. But it's true. It's pretty explanatory. Don't bring alligators on a plane or crocodiles.
Bizarre and impossible things to be done. How is this possible?
calling cap on that. Special effects. Is he wearing wires? That's another possibility.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you. Part 19. Oscar Wilde was once quoted saying that he was addicted to giving top and said that it greatly inspired him as a writer. The first ever pregnancy test involved injecting a woman's urine directly into a female frog's skin. And if the woman was pregnant, a few hours later, the frog would lay eggs. Paul Revere would ride from Boston to Newport to cheat on his wife. No, babe, the redcoats are actually coming this time. In 1955, the KGB tried to blackmail the president of Indonesia with video footage of him making love with a Russian woman disguised as a flight attendant. However, this backfired because the president did not care and requested the tape so he could flex on his friends back home. Giving someone the finger actually dates back 2,000 years, and it used to mean that you were threatening someone with sex. So while today it means F you, back then it meant I'm going to fuck you.
Here are some humans that have actual superpowers. So Stephen Wiltshire is an autistic artist who can draw an entire cityscape inclusive of all architectural details from his memory after only seeing it once. And speaking of superior memory, Rebecca Sharrock is a woman who can remember with fine detail every day of her entire life. Ben Underwood was a young boy who had sonar vision, meaning that he used echolocation like a bat to interact with the world around him, playing basketball and video games using only sound. Jo Cameron has a genetic mutation that doesn't allow her to feel any kind of pain, whether it's mental or physical, allowing her to burn herself on a stove for minutes at a time without realizing what's happening. Thai Nagak is an 80-year-old Vietnamese man who hasn't slept in 50 years after contracting a fever, and now he just works through the night without ever getting sleepy. Dean Karnazes is able to work past physical exhaustion and has once ran for 350 miles in a row without sleep for 3 days, and as a result, scientists have concluded that he could run until he died of old age. And finally, Wim Hof is able to withstand freezing temperatures and exposure to direct ice for periods of time that medical experts didn't believe were possible, like this 1.5-hour ice bath. Pretty cool, right?
Money facts that will blow.
People like that always freaking blow my mind, man. He stood in that ice bath in the Arctic water for like over an hour. I even hate being in the over there in like a minute or something like that. So they definitely have some special abilities, man. Crazy. Tell me down below, man. What ability would you guys seekers get if you could have any?
Blow your mind. Content creators on OnlyFans made more money than all of the NBA players combined.
What?
Karenikov has made more in 3 years than Klay Thompson has in his recent 3-year NBA contract. If you've been subscribed to Netflix since 2007, you've paid them almost $2,000. If you had instead invested that $2,000 into Netflix back then, you would have over $350,000 today. Paul Walker secretly bought a $9,000 engagement ring for an Iraq veteran that he overheard in a jewelry store telling his soon-to-be wife that he wasn't going to be able to afford it. Disney spends $50 million a year on fireworks. That's over $130,000 a night. Amazon will lose over $1 billion a year if it went 1 second slower. These are the average retirement savings in the United States by age group. The average for under 35 is $50,000. Average by the time you're 65 is over $600,000. The New York Stock Exchange is owned by a company named Intercontinental Exchange, which has its stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
That New York Stock Exchange and that other stock exchange, that looks like some weird things going on, bro. Can't they just like mess with the numbers or something like that? If you really think about it. That's an edit. Call them out, Seekers.
This is the age of consent in every country. So the highest age of consent goes to Bahrain at 21, followed by Nepal and South Korea at 20. India, Turkey, Vietnam, Argentina, and Egypt are some countries that place it right at 18, while Mexico, Ireland, and Cyprus have it marked at 17. A majority of countries have it at 16, including Canada, Russia, South Africa, Australia, Spain, Norway, and most of the United States. Inching a bit lower to 15, we have a lot of European countries, as well as Thailand, Costa Rica, and North Korea. 14 brings us to China, Bangladesh, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Brazil, and Colombia. 13 is actually the age of consent in Japan, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The Philippines and Angola have it set right at 12. And the lowest age of consent of them all is Nigeria at just 11 years old. But some countries like Yemen, Pakistan, and Iran, there's no age of consent and you just need to be married.
How old were you when you realized
that's insane.
You've been drinking beer wrong your entire life? You were supposed to drink it warm. I know, I was shocked when I came to find this out. Warm? How warm? Well, it turns out most formulations of beer recipes, they're made to be enjoyed at cellar temperature. What's cellar temperature? Between 50 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So, okay, not too cold, but not warm. Well, there's more. Prepare to be blown away. The best beer manufacturers will actually recommend that you drink their beer room temperature, because their beer is so good that any temperature, really, you can enjoy it. But at room temperature, you really get the full flavor and notes of the beer. And then, here's the shocking one. The cold beer phenomenon, as in when everyone started chilling their beers to, 41 degrees, 40 degrees, that was because there was a lot of bad beer, and cold beer makes bad beer taste decent.
Ooh.
I know. Do with that information as you see fit. And if you made it this far into the video, comment down, I love tacos! So I know that you made it to the end of the video.
Comment tacos.
Island of Tafiti.
Isn't that in Mulana or something like that? That Disney movie.
In real life.
They just brought it to life with animation. You see the similarities, you can see it. You see the grooves right there.
Facts that will mess with your perception of time. Betty White is actually older than sliced bread. By the time women were allowed to vote in Switzerland, NASA had already been driving a buggy on the moon. Karl Marx, the creator of communism, wrote a letter to Abraham Lincoln congratulating him on his re-election. Oxford University existed for hundreds of years before the founding of the Aztec Empire. The fax machine was invented the same year the first wagon crossed the Oregon Trail. The Ottoman Empire still existed the second to last time the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. That means that Turkey was not founded as a country until 15 years later. Star Wars came out the same year that the last guillotine execution was used in France. Follow for more.
Those possessions of times will mess you up.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood, part 13. Carl died in the beginning of the movie Up. And Russell is his guardian angel, trying to help him cross into heaven. Maybe that's why he had dreams of all of his memories with his wife. But what if Russell isn't just any guardian angel? What if he's Carl and Ellie's miscarried kid? Russell wasn't trying to earn a badge, he was trying to earn his wings.
They put things into perspective.
Help. Can anybody tell me the name of this movie?
I see you. Sister, may we help you? You just lost the element of surprise, demon. Sister, this is a pre-trial hearing. We're going to have to ask you to sit down, officer.
I'm fine, Your Honor. No recess.
He's the evil coming to New York.
Let me adjust the microphone for you. Now turn. That. Mandela effects that will alter your perception of reality. Part 1. Many iPhone users recall there being a robber emoji with a beanie, a black and white striped shirt, and a money bag thrown over his shoulder.
Yeah.
However, this emoji never existed. In Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader does not say the words, "Luke, I am your father." He actually says this.
No, I
There was never a Disney intro where Tinkerbell dotted the I in Disney with her wand. Curious George does not have a tail. He never did. And Pikachu never had a black tip at the end of his. The Fruit of the Loom logo does not have a cornucopia. And if you look at the logo's 130-year history, not once did it have a cornucopia in it. And contrary to popular belief, I was never verified on TikTok. But drop a follow and maybe this one will become a reality.
Carlos Rodriguez right here killed Zoe Campos right here because he was hallucinating and thought that she was a demon. He even sent a handwritten letter to detail the killing in 2013 and why he did it. He admitted that he was wrong and he wanted everyone to know the truth 5 to 6 years later. He stated he's not a murderer, he just committed a reckless act. That reckless act happened to be murder though. He said he was hallucinating after smoking some sort of synthetic marijuana. He started losing track of time and hallucinating, seeing Zoe as a demon. Fast forward 5 years after that incident, in 2018 and early 2019, that's when her skeletal remains were found. He also stated in his letter, as soon as she started to laugh, he heard a demonic scream and her face started to melt, according to him. That's when he snapped and started choking her, or what he thought was a demon at least. He claimed he wasn't in the right state of mind, however, he knew he was wrong in this instance. Now, Carlos ended up pleading guilty on August 15th of 2022. Because of the actions and the murder, he is facing life in prison for this. There's no way around this. Let me know your thoughts about this case in the comment section below, guys.
Stay away from drugs, man. That's the ultimate message. That really, like they said, it alters your mind, makes you see things that aren't there. Warps your perspective. I stay away from stuff like that, always.
This is a good one. Let's talk about Wrinkles the Clown. Wrinkles is a clown based in Florida, and you can hire him to scare your misbehaving children. And there's even still an active phone number you can call, and you'll get sent to his voicemail to leave a request. The problem arose when he started showing up randomly all across Florida. Kids were reporting a clown would follow them home, even at night. There are several videos of people seeing Wrinkles the Clown outside of their house staring at them through the window. And there were also reports of him being on playgrounds waiting for children. This was all just so he could scare them. They even made a whole movie based on this clown because it was so terrifying. Let me know what you guys think about Wrinkles the Clown in the comments section.
Clowns are creepy, bro. Like that's dead.
Here's something no one's talking about. Trees and land absorbed almost no CO2 last year. And the consequences of that is not just devastating, but it's something most scientists haven't even factored in to their climate models. I mean, just look at what's happening in Finland. You see, humans emit a bunch of carbon into the atmosphere each year, but thankfully about half of all of our emissions is absorbed by the planet's oceans, forests, soils, and other natural carbon sinks. And carbon sinks being a phrase that scientists use to describe something that absorbs more carbon than it releases. But shockingly, this preprint study found that in 2023, Earth's land as a CO2 sink almost dropped to a net zero, the lowest it's been in over 2 decades. And it also showed that because of that drop, and we'll get into the reasons why, the ocean actually increased in CO2 absorption to compensate. And while that absorption plays a critical role, it also presents several dangers. One of which we just saw with Hurricane Helene and Milton, because the more carbon the ocean absorbs, the warmer they become, which then contributes to more and more extreme weather events. And what's happening in Finland is one of the craziest examples of this. WSTUB. They have one of the most ambitious net zero targets in the world, with aims to reach that target roughly 15 years ahead of other European countries. But despite cutting emissions by a massive 43% across all other sectors, because the amount of CO2 that their forests absorb in particular has declined by a staggering 90% from 2009 to 2022, Finland's net emissions are about the same levels as they were in the 1990s. It's as if nothing happened for 30 years. And this paper cited similar declines in regions around the world, like Europe, North America, and Southeast Asia, but most severely affected the Amazon rainforest. Shockingly, a severe drought towards the end half of 2023 caused the region to switch from being a carbon sink to becoming a net carbon source. Now honestly, the truth as to why this is happening is not fully understood, but 2023 was the hottest year on record, and researchers at least currently believe that these declines are primarily attributed to droughts, wildfires, and heat waves. Hopefully what happened in 2023 could be temporary and we could see a bounce back, and they say it is critical we do, because any hope of reaching net zero is impossible without nature.
That's crazy to think about it. Maybe that's why all those like hurricanes, like I said, was the one I had in Florida, like Hurricane Milton and stuff, is because the ocean is absorbing too much CO2. We gotta take care of our planet, man. We don't want bad things to happen to it. That's crazy, especially about the fact about Finland. Like, they did all that work and it made it seem like it was for nothing.
Library room in the Conjuring house. It actually used to be Roger Perron's bedroom, the father of the Perron family, and he supposedly suffered multiple demonic attacks and even saw the ghost of the witch Bathsheba in this room. The current owners of the home have also seen this book fly off the shelf.
I would stay out of that home.
This is your Cuero Agua,
Simple.
one of the creepiest execution videos in the world explained. The video that I'm about to explain is about 30 seconds long, and it's the creepiest and one of the most disturbing videos out there. And whatever you do, don't go searching for it. The video begins with a suspected cartel member with his face completely flayed and skinned, and he is still alive. Now, you don't see this happening, but you do see the aftermath. All of the skin on his face has been completely removed. Nothing that resembles facial features are there anymore. No skin, no lips, no eyelids, absolutely nothing. This video almost doesn't look real, but it has been confirmed to be 100% real. It almost looks like and feels like an 80s slasher film. Throughout the video, it's just his captors mocking him and having a good time, enjoying the pain they inflicted on him. They ask him questions throughout the video like, "Do you want water?" which the victim replies, "Yo quiero agua," which means, "I want water." The captors continue to just mock and mess with the victim throughout the whole video. It also looks like they skinned some of his chest off too, which I can't even imagine the pain. Now, the video is gory and hard to watch, but that's not really what makes this video disturbing. The video is just honestly extremely creepy. For example, how the guy looks after his face was skinned. The best way I could describe it is that his face was stuck in a constant grin, but he has no face. It's almost like they cut off his face in a way to make him smile permanently. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's an extremely messed up visual. Also, the way the victim sounds while he's talking to his captors is also extremely disturbing. His voice is just so raspy and it almost sounds demonic and not human at all. Now, we all know the video Funky Town, and people who saw Funky Town compare this video to it all the time. Now, it's not Funky Town disturbing, but it is extremely disturbing. All in all, it isn't a pleasant video to look at or watch, and I urge you to never ever go searching for it.
I don't. His descriptions are freaking vivid enough in my mind. I don't need to see that. It looks like an edit. That's an edit. We see him, bro. We see through the fake.
Girls went hiking in Panama, disappeared, and left behind their camera with disturbing photos. Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon were students from the Netherlands, and they spent about 6 months planning a trip to Panama that was supposed to serve as part vacation and part service trip. They planned on spending some time hiking, touring, volunteering with local children, teaching arts and crafts, and learning Spanish. Lisanne and Chris have been hiking around the Panamanian jungle for the last 2 weeks as part of a backpacking mission trip. They intended to stay for the next 4 weeks with a host family to volunteer at a local school. However, when they waved goodbye to their host family at 11 a.m. on April 1st, they were never seen again. The girls had wrote on a Facebook post that they were going to tour a local village and they were having brunch with 2 Dutchmen before embarking on their hiking journey. On the night of April 1st, the host family noticed that there was something wrong. Their dog had returned safe and sound, but the girls were nowhere to be found. The host family looked around the area of their home, but decided to wait until the morning to alert authorities. The next morning, Lisanne and Chris missed an appointment with a local tour guide, and this prompted the host family to alert the authorities. By April 6th, the girls were still missing, and their families ended up flying to Panama, bringing detectives with them from the Netherlands. Along with local police and dog units, they searched the forest for 10 days. Days turned into weeks, and after 10 weeks, there was still no sign of Lisanne or Chris. As police were slowing their search efforts, a woman turned in a blue backpack to authorities, claiming to have found it near the banks of the river. Inside of the backpack, they found 2 sunglasses, 2 bras, a water bottle, $83, and Lisanne's passport. Also inside, most importantly, they found Lisanne's camera and both of their cell phones. Police immediately began investigating the camera and cell phones and came up with some disturbing evidence. The phones had surfaced about 10 days after the girls had gone missing. As they were looking at the phones, there was about 77 separate times they tried to call the police.
Damn.
And with these call logs, they were able to come up with a time frame of how long these girls were in the forest. It seemed like all of these calls were not going through since they were in the forest, but only one of them went through, but after 2 seconds, it disconnected. As police were looking at the camera, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The first photo was of Sam and Chris as they were starting their hike for the day. But as the photos progressed, it became more worrisome. There was a photo taken on April 8th between 1 to 4 a.m., and it was showing the girls' belongings spread out on a rock. There was plastic bags, candy wrappers, and most importantly, there was a photo of the back of Chris's head, and there was blood leaking from her temple. Police were investigating where the backpack was found, and they discovered Chris's clothes neatly folded near the edge of the river. About 2 months later, in that same area, a pelvic bone and a foot were found in a pool. And soon after that, the bones of the 2 girls were discovered. As investigators were looking at the bones, they were looking at Sam's bone, and it looked like they had decomposed naturally. There was still some flesh attached to them, but for Chris's bones, they looked stark white as if they had been bleached. Police questioned the locals, tour guides, and hikers in that area, but no one seemed to know what had happened to those girls, and there was not enough evidence to determine the cause of death. To this day, the disappearance and deaths of Sam and Chris.
Pope Francis apparently left money in his will to pay for ambulances in Ukraine. This is one part of the border between Belgium and the Netherlands going straight through somebody's house. This is a polar bear that was found in Canada that is walking on 3 legs, apparently losing one when he was a cub. This was a roadway in Indonesia that suddenly collapsed after days of heavy rain. This is an aerial view of elephant handlers walking new orphans for the first time. The phone you're looking at on this video right now was smuggled from North Korea. This is a video taken in northern Pakistan, which I had no idea looked like that. These are human towers that apparently are common in Spain, and I don't know why. It was found out somewhat recently that Tibetans living in the Himalayas have a unique gene that expands oxygen carrying capacity of blood. They're calling it the high altitude gene.
Are reptilians actually responsible for how the world is right now?
People will say, like, I don't understand why humans would create life for themselves this way. Like, why would humans want to live this way? And it's like, they don't, and they didn't. It was a predator race of beings, draconian reptilians to be precise. And archons, which you might call demons, and the demiurge are Yaldabaoth, which you might call the devil.
We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded.
What does he mean by that? They set this all up for us. That humans would create this life of suffering for themselves? This world is not run by humans. At least not right now. At least not yet. It's run by these reptilian beings and these Archon and this demiurge and ancient AIs, right? AI isn't new. It's just newly being shown to us. They've been using it for forever. So,
if you start really thinking about what she's saying, it kind of makes sense. Like, it doesn't really seem that crazy. What really got me was when she said, why would humans create a world of suffering? Because humans aren't the ones in charge. It's weird.
He hit the chisel, chipping off pieces of the mountain to build the entire tunnel all by himself. Now, at first, villagers laughed, but he returned day after day with just a hammer and a chisel. You see, years earlier, his wife had fallen off a cliff and was badly injured. But the nearest hospital was blocked by the mountain, and the only route went around it, stretching over 40 miles. His wife's injuries were too severe, and she died before they could reach it. So the man swore no one else would suffer the same fate. And for 22 years, he chipped away at solid rock until a passage finally cut through the cliffs. It was as long as a football field and served as a quick route to the hospital, which has saved countless lives.
That is dedication, man. You know how long, bro? 22 years, man, just chipping away, bro. Like I said, people were laughing at him at first, man, but he did it, bro. Completed his goal, man. We're in Minecraft mode on him, bro. Just chipping away, man. That's inspirational, bro.
And as I keep telling you in all my previous videos, something is not right with 3i Atlas, and something is definitely going on. And as I've explained in my previous video,
3i Atlas is to make its closest path to Earth on December 19th. And should we be concerned? I think we should. Take a look at this headline from the New York Post. Space agencies conducting the largest ever planetary defense drill with 3i Atlas approaching. And the article is even more concerning. It's a practice run for Armageddon, with 3i Atlas just days away from making its closest approach to Earth. Agencies around the globe are conducting the largest and most exclusive planetary defensive drill with the goal of protecting ourselves against future threats and beyond. Here are just a few of the agencies that are participating in this drill. The European Space Agency, ESA, NASA, and over 23 nations have launched the largest planetary defense drill as Interstellar Visitor approaches Earth.
Weird.
Here's a look at the timeline and where 3i Atlas has been and where it's going.
You see it just slowly rotating, bro. Getting closer and closer to Earth. Oh, actually, it's falling out.
And as of December 15th, the interstellar object 3i Atlas, already about 270 million kilometers from Earth. So as I say in all my videos, this is for entertainment purposes only. Why do I say that? Because the only confirmation we have is from news articles that I just showed you. No government, state, or local officials have confirmed any of this information. So I guess my question to you is, are they hiding something? Are they not telling us something? Should we be concerned when 3i Atlas passes on December 19th? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I think so.
About the iPhones and how they were spying on y'all, okay? The iPhone is spying. They're listening to everything. You think that it's a coincidence that when you think of something or when you say something or you search something up and now you're seeing ads everywhere for it, your phone is listening to every conversation, all of those things. Take a listen to this video.
With the iPhone is a way to spy on people. I have friends that are investigators, friends that are military, hiring militaries. So they've been telling me that even if your phone is off, and let's say it's like this, they can hear you, they can even look at you with a camera. So ask anybody that works in that industry, and they'll tell you. So they're not allowed to use this information to incriminate.
We don't just think that these phones were going to become the biggest thing in the world and they don't have something on the other side. Remember, no good deed goes unpunished. Yeah, we got these phones and they're so cool and new technology and everything like that. But no, your freedom is at the cost of the phone because they're listening to everything, okay? They can hear everything, they can see everything. Yeah, it's insane to think about that you're being watched. But think about it. If you wanted to monitor every single person in the world, what would be the easiest way to monitor them? By putting cameras on every light pole? I mean, sure, you could do that, right? By putting cameras in every store? Sure, whatever. But by putting surveillance on a device that the average person uses 8 hours a day of their life, if not more. Exactly.
But you are... That makes sense, man. I don't know. I can't tell you guys how many times I was just actually thinking about something or searched something up, man, and it just like popped up on my phone like an ad or something, bro. I'm like, that's weird, bro. I mean, think about it, man. You guys know, bro. I'm pretty sure there's some technology, man, where they can see, where they watching us, bro, through the phones, or they can get that type of information out of our phones, man. It's just the sad truth, bro. Surveillance, man. It's scary, bro. Watch where you say in front of your phone, bro. We being watched right now.
Could be the future of building. China, of course, have just unveiled the world's largest dome that is 50 meters tall and covers over 20,000 square meters. That's the freaking height of a 15-story building and nearly 3 football fields. And the way it works is genius. The bubble essentially acts as a shield around construction sites, protecting the surroundings from noise by using negative pressure, but also against dust and debris by using air filtration systems. And it's not just the nearby communities and environment that benefits, it's also the builders. The dome is temperature controlled, has advanced ventilation systems to ensure the air is good quality, has sprinkler facilities to control the dust that they would otherwise be breathing in, and the material of the dome blocks out over 90% of the sun's UV rays. So no more sun damage and overheating. In fact, one reporter said it was cooler inside the dome than it was outside. And just to top it off, the dome also has quick assembly and dismantling, allowing for easy transport to other building sites.
You know who Robert Johnson is? No. It's so freaky, this story. Okay. So this was in the early 1900s. He had a terrible home life. Very poor. His dad died and his stepdad abusive. He was obsessed with music. All he wanted to do was play the guitar. He would travel around and play the guitar, and he was terrible. He would go into these clubs, he would go up on stage and start playing, and the people were like, can you get this guy off the stage? He sounds so bad. The story goes, he was walking on and he hit this crossroad, and it was midnight, and a man came out and he said it was the devil. Robert Johnson's carrying his guitar and was like, do you want to be the best in the world? And Robert Johnson's like, yes. So the devil took the guitar, tuned it, played a song, gave it back, and he says, you won't have this forever. Like, you will lose something. And then he came back, and they said that he was one of the best guitar players in the world, right at the brink of becoming like the most famous person. And then someone poisoned him, and he died at the age of 27. So that started the whole thing of all these musicians that blow up.
This man 21 Savage is tripping right now. This man really want it to be a purge in real life. This man want Donald Trump to make a city or a town for crash outs so they can go purge on each other. Bro, you know you can't be telling this man to do some shit like that. Because what if it really happened? It's not going to stop there. Shit going to get crazy in the world. It's already crazy enough.
Trump need to make a motherfucking city for these niggas. I know we got some land somewhere in America that ain't nobody using, where they test bombs and shit at. We're gonna call this shit Crash Out City. He make this city, name this city, Crash Out City. Fuck sending the National Guard everywhere. Crash Out City. We're gonna come pick all y'all niggas up. Oh, y'all wanna crash and y'all hate y'all that bad, or y'all just hate the world that bad. We're gonna pick all y'all up, put y'all on a plane, and we're gonna fly y'all to Crash Out City.
Fool, do y'all hear how crazy that shit sound? And I know people like, you crazy for believing it. No, I'm not. I know y'all remember back in ancient Rome or medieval times where they was cutting each other up with knives and shit. So if they did it back then, why wouldn't they do it now? But with blickies, can't be pitting that shit out in the air.
Keep telling y'all these big
Crash Out City, man. What do you guys think about that, CPS? When I saw a clip of that, I saw somebody in the comments saying, "Oh, we already have Crash Out Cities in Chicago." I'm like, bro. But like you said, man, you can't get Trump ideas, bro. You just can't.
Companies are working overtime to bring every type of evil spirit there is into your home. So it's a game on this app that finds demons in Call of Duty. You heard what I just said? It's a gamer on this app that finds demons in places in Call of Duties that they shouldn't be. He'll be in a specific place in the game. He'll take a screenshot, zoom in on that screenshot, and what you will see is a demon. Mind you, it's a lot of people who notice these things. But why know that those demons in that game have access to your home once they're in your home? Mind you, I jumped down the rabbit hole. And if you hit that search bar, you'll see more demonic practices in COD. You'll see more demonic practices in other video games. I saw a video where it was saying that Call of Duty had more demonic items in their store. Something called Evil Eye. Then took it even further and they had something called a death mission. But look at the characters that they have on this death mission. Now you gotta ask yourself, why do they want to harvest your children's energy? I'm not gonna be the one to tell you. All you need to do is understand what type of energy your children have. Pay attention.
You ever see those body exhibits? In like the science center, they would have like a person's body and their peeled skin and everything like that, right? They're just on display. And you see the inside of a human. Oh, yeah. There's a theory. All of those bodies, they say, are unclaimed bodies that they were like volunteered for science, right? Yeah. A lot of them came from China. Now, the problem is, in order for the body to be put into that form as one of those statues, it needs to be within 2 days of death. Oh, shit. In China, when the bodies are deemed as like unclaimed or for volunteer, it takes 30 days. So it doesn't line up. So all of those people, bodies that you see in the science places on display are murdered. Theory is those people were like enemies of whoever's supposed to. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll turn you into it. Oh my god.
The cat is cool. Baby, open this.
Wait. Don't hold it.
Look at that. I've never seen it before. So there, in my hand, there's a baby octopus. It's beautiful. Look at all that blue. There's no food here. Look at that. Amazing. Let's put you back in the water and see what happens. There it goes. Sweet.
Remember that?
Blood doesn't know he's holding one of the most dangerous octopuses ever, bro. Do y'all see what the say this is? When the blue ring octopus, bro, it's 1,000 times more dangerous than what was showed on the screen, man. And he was just holding it in his hand, bro. Hopefully, man, he got checked out, man, because you can't hold that, bro. Isn't it craziest, man? Like the smallest, tiniest things, man, are the most deadliest, bro. That's insane, man. I'm shocked nothing even happened to him while he was holding it. Y'all do y'all research on that octopus, seekers, and then come back to me.
Well, we just got a major update from veterinarian. And anybody who ate these horse treats, yeah, they're cooked. So about 6 or 7 days ago, there was this massive trend where people would go down to the animal food store and buy these horse candy treats. And they're called horse candy treats because they're meant for horses. However, this trend started when horse girls started eating these treats and they realized that they tasted good. However, there are so many downsides to eating these candies. And anybody who ate them, this is where it gets more insaner. A few days ago, I went down to the horse candy store and I thought that it would be a fun idea to try these treats out myself, as the flavors looked extremely interesting. However, immediately when I started licking it, I immediately felt something turning in my stomach. Then when I tried the other flavor, it was even more disgustinger and I had to go and throw up immediately. And what's even more sadder is that a lot of these people that are saying that they like these candy treats, because not only do these treats have about 6 or 7 times the amount of daily sugar I would ever eat, but these horse candies also have a risk of being cross-contaminated with other animal food. Would you ever eat one of these?
Did you know that if you go back to October 1582 in your calendar app, you'll see that 10 days are missing from that month? They straight up skipped 10 days. They go. Well, those days were removed to bring the vernal equinox back to March 21st instead of April 1st. Yes, April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day. The reason is that April 1st should really be the new year based on the solar cycle. But because of this change, we celebrate it on January 1st instead. This small adjustment still impacts our lives today since we switched over to the Gregorian calendar. Every single year, this discrepancy grows, moving us further from true solar time. Some people believe that this misalignment separates us from synchronizing with nature, disconnecting us from the natural rhythms and harmony of life. The crazy part, by the year 4909, the Gregorian calendar will be 1 full day ahead of the solar year. If we know now that our calendar system is inaccurate, why hasn't it been fixed? It's wild to think about, right?
It is. What the hell is that? It's an orb, bro. It just blinked out of existence. Oh, nah. Aliens on the farm? Those could just be tall people, man.
It's too big to be a bag.
Bag or bat cannot be. It's too big. Aliens.
Chat versus UFO, bro. What's faster? That UFO hitting it, man.
So by now the entire world has heard about the jewels that were stolen from the Louvre a couple weeks ago. 9 pieces from the French crown jewels that were kept at the museum, estimated to be worth over $100 million, were stolen within 4 minutes. And nearly a month later, nobody has found them yet.
They're gone forever, bro.
Suspects have been charged, but they haven't been able to track down the actual pieces of jewelry. Which really raises the question, how did this actually go down? And the news that recently came out is insane. So apparently the password to the security system in the Louvre, which is the largest, maybe most iconic museum in the world, was literally the name of the museum. There weren't any special numbers, no symbols, no nothing. It was just the name of the museum. And that really kind of made me think, if that was the password to the world's most famous, valuable, huge museum, then imagine what other simple passwords are being used for crazy, secretive things around the planet. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the password to get into the White House at this point was password.
Is this screw encased in a 300 million year old rock proof of time travel or aliens in Earth's past? Well, some people are saying this proves that aliens were on Earth a long time ago. In fact, the ancient alien theory is older than me. And I'm old. And this screw encased in rock is freaky. It was found in the 1990s by a group of researchers of some kind in this region of Russia. And believe it or not, it's not the only one. Here's another screw that's so old, it's also encased in rock. These screws are older than the history of mankind. They've been here before people. So then how did they get here? Could it be aliens? Some kind of advanced technology from another time or another dimension?
Could be.
Or maybe, just maybe, time travelers. Yeah, time travelers. They dropped those screws when they were visiting the past. Tell me what you think about this whole alien time traveler screwy situation. Shabadoo Bushkis, Shabadoo.
So you guys don't think that Antarctica is a hub that's being used for cooling or freezing technology in order to freeze the Leviathan or the snake or the Kundalini of the Earth in real time? Because why is it that when you look all over the map of the Earth, the only place that's all white and snow is Antarctica? Because what do you mean every country can come together and sign a peaceful agreement to leave Antarctica alone, but when it comes to this reality, then unity is impossible? Because who else can tell me why does Antarctica look like it's holding some type of wand technology and is freezing the head of the snake over here, right? Look at the head of the snake, that big dragon Leviathan thing. And then look at Antarctica. It looks like it has some type of technology. It's holding some type of technology and it's freezing the snake in real time in space. And then they have the nerve to call it Antarctica. Antarctic. Like, if something ain't Arctic, that means it's not cold. It's not frozen. Or at least it's not supposed to be a frozen tundra. So this right here would make perfect sense as to every country on Earth has signed this peace treaty to keep the dragon asleep. Because you guys do know that snakes are cold-blooded, right? Y'all do know that. You see, snakes aren't just cold-blooded. They are what's called ectothermic, meaning they don't generate their own body heat like mammals do. Their body temperature matches their environment. Kind of like this, right? I mean, if you're around a frozen tundra as Antarctica, aren't you going to be frozen in time because you can't regulate your body temperature? They regulate heat by basking in the sun, hiding in the shade, or moving between warm and cool surfaces. Snakes slow down or go dormant in cold weather. Snakes slow down or go dormant in cold weather. Do y'all remember the Leviathan video I made last year and I showed you guys how his head has shifted? The head of the Leviathan was actually looking straight ahead and now it's like turning towards Antarctica, like it's coming for Antarctica. And now look at this one. It says cold snaps can immobilize or even kill them if they can't thermoregulate. So once again, why would you call a place Antarctica if it's not Antarctic? This is exactly the reason why we're all feeling this different level type of cold that we have never felt before, y'all. Because the ice in Antarctica is melting. I mean, if they're not lying about the maps, which we all know that they are, this type of cold to reach all the way down to Florida is not making sense. And this actually makes perfect sense as to why they are in Venezuela right now. You guys do know the mouth of the other Levi is Venezuela, right? Look at the head of the Levi over here. And then Jamaica and Haiti. That's why everything was happening in Jamaica and Haiti earlier this year with the hurricane. I'm about to make a part 2 to this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shit is
very deep and it may make you uncomfortable. This is by far the most controversial runway show in Paris Fashion Week this year, and just pay very close attention to every single thing that they're wearing, the things in their eyes, on their mouth, on their feet, on their hands. This video we're about to watch is going to break down every single thing that they're wearing. This show is called The 1%.
It's just that, the call out of the 1%. The first part is introduction to a bourgeois family. You meet the mothers, fathers, daughters of the family. A lot of them wearing white gloves with red palms titled guilt gloves, symbolizing that there is blood on their hands. Some characters even choking on the accessories symbolizing the greed. Wearing shirts saying I love power and literally being blinded with money. Instead of handcuffs, their hands are tied with pearl necklaces. Their pursuit of beauty and youth being one thing that they can never attain. The second part represents the power of community. This is also a call out of the 1%. It also is a reference how the Métier Fécal team has been referred to since their last debut in Paris. They're constantly called a cult, which can be easily said about 1%. Also, the last part is the power of the future, where Hannah shows up in albino python cocoon skirt with the Gila skin boot morphing into her leg, showing that the 1% have access to tools of life that most of us don't. Michelle Ami walks the show as a representation of embracing the natural beauty of aging and no need to play pretend. This fashion show is a commentary on society that we live in. This is what fashion does the most. Provoke. The collection might leave you uncomfortable, but the question is, doesn't society already make you feel...
Up in Australia has trained a cluster of human brain cells living on a microchip to play Doom. Well, yeah, obviously, technically, human brain cells can already play Doom, but it's a bit more impressive than that. Scientists at Cortical Labs confirmed in a YouTube video that its CL1 biological computer, which has about 200,000 living neurons that have been grown on a microchip, is able to play Doom about as well as someone who's never touched a computer in their life. Will you shut up? The gameplay of Doom is converted into electrical stimulation patterns which are interpreted by the neurons. So if an enemy appears on one side of the screen, that side of the neurons are stimulated and, pew-pew. Apparently the cells are capable of basic learning and adaptation, which is vaguely unsettling, but famously scientists doing experiments like these are always ethical, so it should be fine.
Hey Owen, someone's calling you. It's someone from the Umbrella Corporation?
Oh, of course. Hey, Oswald, how are you, man? I thought you died.
You know what Ford has? A patent for vehicles to be able to repossess themselves.
Whoa.
And I read it so you don't have to. That's you, number 120. That's your repossession computer, that's a camera, and that's a camera. But we'll come back to the cameras. So in the event that you become delinquent on your payments, the computers will then begin to communicate with each other. One of those computers will be your lending institution. Now, warning messages will be sent to you. In the event that you do not answer those messages or try to resolve your delinquency, the first step will be to make you become uncomfortable to drive the vehicle, such as disabling things like cruise control, your automatic windows, your automatic seats, or the infotainment system.
Can they do that?
When you, number 120, come near the vehicle, an unpleasant noise will continue to be played. You will not be able to shut off that sound without contacting, that's right, your lending institution. If, in spite of the sound produced, you still fail to respond to their messages and fix your delinquency, they will then move on to the next phase, which is disabling some, if not all, of the primary use components. For example, the engine, the brakes, the accelerator, the steering wheel, the doors, and lights of the vehicle. You know, everything you'd need to drive. You remember the cameras I told you about, 130 and 140? Yeah, well, they would be able to use those for video clips or even video streaming to see if your vehicle is parked inside a garage. Now, should it get to this point, the vehicle will autonomously drive itself from the owner's premises to either a repossession agency, an impound yard, or any other predetermined location. So if you'd like to read this for yourself, there's the patent number. Now, a spokesperson for Ford said, we don't have any plans to deploy this, and I'm thinking it's probably because they don't know how they'd get it out of a garage if it's in one. Just a thought. Anyway, they say we submit patents to new inventions all the time. It doesn't mean it's a new business or product plan.
The fact that that's even a patent in the first place is crazy, bro. Like, imagine you waking up, there's a damn hole in your garage, bro, because your Ford transported itself back to the lot, bro. The things people come up with, man, to get their money, bro, is really mind-boggling.
Well, guys, Sammy Asdrubal accidentally created a robot vacuum army. He just wanted to control his automated vacuum with a PS5 control, you know, as you do. And then he used Claude Code and found a massive flaw in DJI's system. So much so, it gave him access to 7,000 vacuums that he could control. He could see through their cameras. He could listen through their microphones, which even according to him, he was like, why does the vacuum have a microphone? And it would even tell him the GPS location, because this dude just wanted to play Vacuum Simulator at home.
Wow.
This is the most terrifying way to go. Like being lost in real life background.
aka the Paris Catacombs. Cobes, you are gonna see the lost footage.
This video camera was found deep in the catacombs. It was picked up by a catacomb explorer.
When the footage of this camera was played, everyone was shocked. Because a man was lost and he was recording. He was extremely deep into the maze. You know you're deep when you start to see the skeletons. Because over 6 million bodies are buried there. From the footage we have, he is sprinting down these tunnels as if something is chasing behind him.
There's catacombs, man. It's a scary place. I don't know why anybody
As his
want to
breathing increases, eventually he drops the camera and runs into the darkness, never to be found again.
Book it, yup. There's a spider in there, bro. And that damn fruit snap. What the? Oh, hell no, bro. Y'all eat that? Thought it was noted.
And here I'm thinking YB will be different. When YB first came out, did y'all expect him to end up being like this? Wearing some shit like this? Not me. I'm thinking this man was gonna be on his Pac shit, his Tupac shit. Be rebellious to people like this. But nope. He's with them. Look at that fucking chain, fool. Look at the chain. Look at the outfit. Just me looking at this shit, I'm like, he's gonna be the next Lil Wayne, fool. He's already going down the same route. The little rock star. YB the rock star. The emo. Shit crazy, fool. But then again, when you rap about the shit you rap about, it's not hard to believe you can sell your soul. Y'all let me know how y'all feel.
Okay, what do you found?
Time counts. I'm still here. Years hit slow, but they hit deep. Hope stayed awake when nights didn't sleep. They locked doors, feel me fear. Said stay small, I stay clear. Chains teach way, silence speaks. Weak talk loud, strong move discreet. I learned pain, don't beg or cry. It waits calm, then multiplies.
Connected to something.
Slow breath, jaw set. Freedom tastes like unpaid debt. Redemption.
Treasure, what the?
Paid in time.
Okay. This has to be Planet, right? No way. Okay, what's in it? That's what we all want to know. Come on. You got this. Hurry up, bro. Alright. The big reveal. What the?
Nepal needs to be studied. After overthrowing their government and giving rise to Gen Z protests around the world, they're now about to elect a rapper as their new leader. Balendra Shah, who's commonly just called Balan in Nepal, is a former rapper/engineer who unexpectedly became a political phenomenon. Despite being a structural engineer by training, around 2012 he became known in the Nepali hip-hop scene for his often politically critical rap. 10 years later, in 2022, he ran for mayor of of Kathmandu as an independent, not backed by any major party. And his win shocked the entire country. He beat candidates from 2 major parties by a large margin, and he's about to do it again. But this time not as a mayor of a city, but rather the leader of an entire country in a manner that has never been seen before. His party has reportedly secured over 120 seats in parliament, which is unprecedented. But for a country that's population is very young, the median age is about 25, they didn't just want a new leader. They wanted an entirely new kind of leader. And they certainly got it. But the question is, what do you guys think? Did Nepal make a good decision or not?
So rapper is the president over there in Nepal, bro. Tell me down below, man, what rappers do you think would actually be good presidents, bro, if they actually ran? I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
For the whole memory, and they know it. And as crazy as this may sound, water remembers who you are, bro. You think that's just a coincidence, bro? The ancients knew this, and that's why baptism works. That's why holy water is prayed over. They speaking life into it, structuring. Water is living consciousness. That's exactly why tears hold emotion, bro. That's because this water is consciousness, and they made you forget, bro. Start speaking life into your water, and it will speak life back into you. You are 70% water, 70% memory. Revive your water, revive your power. See, they poison the wells and sell you the cure, but now you know the truth. Link in my bio, bro.
They said water holds memory. He said water holds memory, right, bro? So what you been doing this whole time, my guy? What's your story, bro? I'm going to find out. Bro, there's something wrong with these clouds.
The legend
bro.
of the Bridge Man. The story goes that in November 1941, during the rededication of the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia, a rift in the space-time continuum briefly opened. Out stepped a man who looked like he had just walked out of a 21st century coffee shop. In the folklore of the internet, he is known as a chrononaut, a professional time traveler who forgot the most important rule: don't stand in the front row. The evidence that fueled the myth. The legend persists because of 3 specific glitches in the reality of the photo. The modern silhouette. While every other man in the shot is a carbon copy of 1940s fashion, high-waisted trousers, stiff suits, and structured fedoras, this man wears a loose zip-front cardigan over a graphic tee. To modernize, he looks like he's headed to a music festival, the future tech.
Right here, this, whatever this is, this right here, we think it's hair. But I realize that if I stop, close my nose and mouth for 4 minutes, if I'm separated from this substance for 4 minutes, my heart don't stop, my brain don't even stop, my body functions don't stop. The first thing I lose is consciousness. I pass out. I can no longer stay aware. So I started to say, well, wait a minute. I'm not just breathing in air. I'm breathing in consciousness. I'm inhaling and exhaling God itself.
I keep telling y'all, these fast food restaurants and these quick service companies do not have your best interests in hand. So a lawsuit just came out claiming that Starbucks, you heard what I said? Starbucks is serving coffee that contains chemicals that show up in industrial products and paint strippers. And the crazy part is they're telling you not to worry about it. So the chemical they're talking about is a chemical called acrylamine. And according to scientists, it forms when foods are cooked or roasted at high temperatures. Which means when coffee beans get roasted, this chemical can show up in the final drink. Now here's the scary part. The chemical that they're talking about has been linked in studies to possible cancer risk in animals. And this same chemical has also been used in certain industrial processes. Now the question we need to ask Why are they allowing people to drink something with that in it every single morning? And here's where things get interesting. Lawsuits started popping up saying that Starbucks should warn people. California even tried requiring warning labels on coffee. But then the regulators stepped in and said, don't worry about it. They claimed that the levels are too low to matter and that coffee has health benefits. Now think about that for a second. You got a chemical connected to cancer studies found in a drink that billions of people consume daily. And the final message is, yeah, it's there, but it's fine. So now the question just isn't about Starbucks. The real question is, how many chemicals are we consuming daily? That's something to think about. Pay attention.
Using AI to slip adverts into shows that you're already watching and you wouldn't even know. The actors in the show will do the adverts unknowingly. Check this out. Look, this is Suits. Normal show, everything's working as normal. He's coming out to jump in the car, and then suddenly an ad break hits. AI generates the advert, different for everyone. This one's a Coca-Cola advert, takes you over to Coca-Cola, and then it just seamlessly goes on with the show. The actors themselves in the shows are going to be the people presenting the products that the advertisers want. Every person gets a different advert depending on their own selected advertising. Old shows like Friends, an ad break shows up. Suddenly, Joey reaches down and grabs a Beats by Dre headphones, and then you can go over and click on it. They're seamlessly adding these products in and even having the actors showcase them, and they don't need to bring the actors in. It's just going to be seamless.
That's bad.
Encino House. Encino House. Encino House.
At 12:50 a.m., the security alarm goes off, says there's an intruder. After playing back the footage, the homeowner was confused. What happened here?
I see some pulses of light.
I personally watched this footage over and over again, and the only excuse I can come up with was possibly a direct energy weapon or something interdimensional.
Could be.
You do hear a loud blast going off, and then on camera you see a shockwave begin to roll by. This definitely goes down as unexplainable. Leave your thoughts below.
The whole Jim Carrey thing that's blowing up right now?
Yeah.
1000%.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Jim Carrey.
I knew it.
First off, he would have came out and said something already.
Yeah.
Has not. Why?
We don't know where he went.
He's the one that did this, right? Jim Carrey, from years and years ago, he's always been trying to expose the Illuminati. Facts. He did it on Jimmy Kimmel.
I know. He's like, if my beard's chopped off, then that's how you know it's not me. If I ever shave my face again, you'll know.
Because the world's going to end in 2026.
I don't exist. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
And look at him in the face. Shame. Jim Carrey's the one that makes like the weird faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why would he ever get his Botox to ruin that? Because he really has $1 billion face back in. Yeah, because his expressions come from it. Yeah. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that, bro. I know you wouldn't do that. I know you see it. You went from like brown eyes to like green. So and I was like, what could a reptile have? Green eyes. Jim Carrey right now, he looks a lot like this actor that passed away, I think literally last year. Okay. His name is Val Kilmer. He was in Top Gun. Oh, I have seen that. Right? Never mind, yeah. He looks a bit like the new Jim Carrey. No, I'm telling you. Look. Bro. That's Jim. Bro. That's Jim.
What is it?
Well, we said this down below in the comments, man. Was that Jim Carrey we saw at that event, was he real or clone, bro? If he's real, type real in the comments. If he's clone, type clones in the comments, man.
That so many occult and magical symbols resemble so closely electronic schematics. Arthur C. Clarke famously said any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Many of the world's greatest scientists and inventors were deeply in touch with the occult, including Thomas Edison. In the 1990s, a group of researchers created the Scully experiment, in which they received a schematic to communicate with the spirit world. They were given detailed instructions on how to build a device containing a germanium crystal that would help them communicate with the spirit world. Using this device in combination with 35mm film, the Scully group received images that appeared to feature faces and even words in Sanskrit and Latin. Some of the researchers involved with this group included Cambridge professors. Much of the information regarding this experiment has disappeared from the internet.
Smelly ass.
What the hell is in his shoes?
It was hot today. Stop.
Bro, that's fucking crazy.
It was hot today.
That doesn't look like my dog. That does not look like Hazel. Ew! Who are you?
Yeah, people saying their animals are acting strange.
Stop. I'm going to bed. You're scaring me. Why are you looking at me like that?
Maybe she could sense something.
They all keep looking at things.
What the fuck? Oh my god, bye.
He's trying to warn you, bro.
A lot of them are panting, they're whimpering, like they're acting brand new sometimes. Like they don't know that person. And it almost feels like something is in the room with the people because they keep looking at the walls and the ceilings. And then see, he backs away. Look.
I'm out.
Look at this. Look at this Doberman. Says it feels like he sees something that we don't. And he's looking straight ahead. And it's starting to freak them out. Look. He's looking straight ahead. What is he looking at? People have been saying their dogs have been acting like this for weeks. This dog tries to get in the shower with her owner and won't stop sniffing her. And forget being right by her side. He literally wants to be inside of her. It's like they feel some type of energy around him. You see, look at this one. He's just staring at nothing or at the wall. What is it that they see?
Spirits.
What is it that they see? Look at the eyes of the dog. What can they see that we can't?
Bro, I don't know what's wrong with this dog. I don't know if it's mechanical, but like it's been doing this the whole day. Okay, all right, just good boy. Just stay over there with that weird stuff, cause I don't know what.
Y'all remember now, in all of these movies, they tell us that the animals are going to be the ones to let us know when things are starting to change. And everybody's animals right now are acting weird. They are picking up on the subtle electromagnetic energies that are in the air that are appearing to be different to them. Even us, a lot of us are sensitive to this energy that's in the atmosphere right now, but we're just not saying anything. But the animals are acting strange, like something bigger is here. What do you guys think it is, man? Let me know down in the comments below. The shit is here, and it is real.
Was sentenced to 50 years in prison, and you won't believe what he did. In 2022, Noah Nay shot a 5-year-old girl in the neck and shoulder in Oklahoma. This teen, who I swear looks like a 9-year-old, was riding in a stolen car and purposely shot inside a home where the little girl was playing. But again, this was no accident. No one did this for a gang initiation. Luckily, the little girl survived, but had the bullet hit a spot an inch away, she would have definitely died. Noah was arrested, but not long after, he escaped the juvenile detention center by jumping a fence. He was found 4 days later, but when he was put back into the detention center, he repeatedly assaulted staff. Noah was sentenced as an adult, but the judge said that in 2028, his sentence can be reduced.
Planets you never knew existed? Part 1. Up first, we have 55 Concrete E. This planet is about 40 light years away from us. Its surface temperature is over 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's believed to be covered with diamonds, and it's twice the size of Earth. Up next, we have HD 1897-33b. This planet is 62 light years away from Earth. Wind speed on this planet reaches over 5,500 miles an hour. That's 7 times faster than the speed of sound. Temperatures reach over 1,600 degrees. This planet rains glass, too. And it rains sideways due to the fast winds. Finally, we got Korat 7b. This planet is 489 light years away from Earth. It rains rocks on this planet. The surface temperature is 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. A year on this planet lasts 20 hours.
And here's some tips that could save your life that you're actually likely to use. If you're ever outside and your hair's standing straight up, you're about to be struck by lightning. So what you have to do is crouch into this position and brace yourself. If your house ever randomly smells like fish, 9 out of 10 times it's an electrical fire. If you're ever in a foreign country and you don't know the emergency number, dial 112. It's the universal number for emergency. If a tornado looks like it's not moving, it's actually moving towards you. If there's ever a gas leak in your house, don't turn on the lights. A spark from the light switch can blow up your entire house. If you're ever in a crashing elevator, lie down flat to evenly distribute your weight. If you happen to fall into a subway track, look for the little crawl space and hide in there. If there's a deer on a road, you have a better chance of surviving if you drive into it. But if it's a moose, drive into a ditch. Even if you have no service, you can still call 911.
So it's December 20th, 2024, and 33-year-old Teresa Bermal decides to bring Jell-O shots to a Christmas party. The only problem? The partygoers were 5th graders. She brought Jell-O shots into her daughter's elementary school for their annual Christmas party. So they look something like this. They're a huge hit with the kids, and within minutes, 36 of the 40 are gone. So a little bit of time goes by, a couple kids start complaining of a headache, a couple kids start complaining of a stomach ache, 2 kids start throwing up, and 1 kid who had 6 Jell-O shots straight up passes out. Teachers who are like, what in the hell is going on, smell the alcohol, send the kids to the nurse, and by 11:15 in the morning, the assistant principal has called 911. So the cops contact the bakery that made these Jell-O shots, and they're like, absolutely not. There's no way she didn't know there was alcohol in these. Apparently, the flyer that Teresa ordered from says contains vodka, and the bakery owner showed a correspondence of text messages where Teresa straight up asked the owner, do these contain alcohol? Which she, of course, said yes. Teresa has been arrested and bail was set at $75,000.
Now, what was the point of that? If you heard that story, you probably wouldn't even believe it, man. Giving kids some Jell-O shots. They thinking it's just, regular Jell-O. Looking at it. Looks so innocent, so unharmful. People doing crazy things, man. It truly breaks my mind.
Rare human body features only a small percentage have PT.11. Only 10% of people have birthmarks. They're usually oval in shape and come in a coffee-type color. 25% of people have perfect teeth and never need braces or any orthodontics. 45% of children need braces, but 75% need orthodontic care. Only 12% of people dream in black and white. Less than 1% of people have an extra rib. Most people are born with 24, but some have 25 ribs. The 25th is called a cervical rib.
Wow, what the hell? I needed braces growing up.
This father allowed his 11-year-old son to fly his plane while he got drunk beside him. And what happens after this clip is extremely devastating. So this happened in Brazil on July 29th of this year when 42-year-old Garon Maia allowed his 11-year-old son to operate his plane. The video was filmed by the father and posted on his social media right before the plane crashed and taking both of their lives. And what's crazy is that in the video, Garon is seen drinking beer as his son is flying the plane. So not only are their lives in danger because his son clearly doesn't know how to fly a plane, but this man is drinking, and sadly when Garon's wife found out what happened to them, she took her own life. And apparently this was not the first time that Garon allowed his son to fly his plane. It's such a sad case, and I really do feel for this child who was put in such a dangerous situation.
Prayers to that family, man.
Here are some cool things that are happening in the world right now. There was a rare golden penguin that was found recently that had bright yellow feathers instead of black and white. A 99-year-old woman wanted to experience jail before she passed away, so the police made it happen. A cafe in Japan is actively hiring paralyzed people to remotely control robot servers. One man named Michael has been building treehouses for over 30 years and has created the world's largest concentration of treehouses. years. His resort is fully equipped with electricity, air conditioning, heating, everything needed. A group of best friends built a tiny town so that they can all grow old together. 600 men showed up to mentor students in Dallas when they only asked for 50. Luxembourg has become the first country in the world to officially grant public transportation to everybody for free. We have found 128 new moons around Saturn. This means that we know Saturn has at least 274 moons, which beats Jupiter to have the most moons in our solar system. Some scientists in Italy just turned pure light into solid matter for the first time ever. Researchers created a hydrogel that self-heals like humans.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your day. Firstly, you know these vacuum toilets that are most commonly used on planes and cruise ships? Well, there have been many reports of them sucking the rectum out of people when they flush. Next, this is just disappointing. 1 in 4 Americans actually believe that the sun rotates around the earth. Now, studies show that the average person will wait 5 months of their lifetime for red lights to turn green. You know when you're watching a movie or TV show and you hear these laugh tracks in the background? Well, most of them were recorded in the 50s, so you're hearing dead people laugh. This will ruin your childhood. The Red Power Ranger, Ricardo Medina, pleaded guilty to killing his roommate with a sword. Finally, you are now closer to death than you...
These are the saddest and most wholesome graves in the entire world. This grieving mother added a sandbox to her little boy's grave who had passed away unexpectedly, and now his older brother plays in it every single day. This is the gravesite of a boy who died of an incurable illness in 1865. A few hours before he died, he told his dad he was scared of death because he knew they were going to bury him underground with no lights. So the parents honored his wish and put a window in his tomb. After her daughter died of yellow fever in 1892, a grieving mother wanted to make sure that her little girl was never alone. You see, her daughter was absolutely terrified of storms, so she constructed a staircase that goes directly down into her tomb. Every time there was a thunderstorm, that mother would go to the graveyard and sit with her daughter for hours, comforting her in her grave.
Those are some great parents, man.
Strangest facts about zodiac signs. Part 2. Capricorn. It's stated they know exactly what you're gonna say before you say it. Almost extremely good at reading minds. Aries. Extremely short-tempered. I'd steer clear around any bad news around them. Don't forget to like and follow for me.
This will make you never want to go into space. A man named Michael was alone in space with no other humans for thousands of miles. But then he heard static coming from his radio, and Michael had a gut-wrenching feeling. Hello, this is Michael Stanton of the Rising Dawn. Do you read me? Over. A breathless voice then replied, "Thank God. I didn't know how much longer I could survive out here. What's going on? Where are you communicating from?" The voice then said back, "I'm right outside your ship, Stanton. Open the hatch door and let me in." Michael's heart rate quickened. He found the strength to turn off the radio, and then he heard it. "Let me in," the voice repeated, but it wasn't like before. It sounded demonic, and Michael never opened the door. Everyone back home told him he could not have possibly heard those sounds in a space vacuum. But Michael still knew that thing was still out there.
Aliens, bro? That sounds like a plot of an
Disturbing
alien.
facts that are guaranteed to freak you out. The United States military has lost at least 3 nuclear bombs, meaning that there are 3 nuclear bombs that have never been found. In Cameroon in 1986, a potential landslide produced a huge cloud of carbon dioxide to emit from a lake. And that cloud of CO2 ended up killing 1,700 people in their sleep. And lastly, this one is super gross, but it is possible for a human being to become so constipated.
This is the creepy story about the blue door. There was a young boy bored sitting at home, and he decided to go for a walk around his house. But before he left, his father said, "Walk where you want, but do not open the blue door." The boy was walking around the house. He was opening and closing doors when he came across the blue door. He looked at it for a few seconds and then refused to open it, listening to his father. The next day, the boy was walking around his house again when he came to the blue door, but this time he heard screaming coming from it. Temptations got the better of him, and he decided to open the door. When he opened the blue door, he saw multiple people tied up, trying to scream for help. He immediately closed the door and ran away. The next day, the young boy decided that he was going to try and help them. He then went back to the blue door, and this time when he opened it, his heart stopped. His dad was standing inside holding an axe. "I warned you about the door," screamed his father, as he cut his son into little pieces.
Did you guys know that Brittany Drexler's body has been found after 13 years? On April 25th, 2009, 17-year-old Brittany Drexel went missing while visiting Myrtle Beach for spring break with some friends. Brittany lived in New York and her mother didn't give her permission to travel to Myrtle Beach because she feared something would happen to her. But Brittany went anyway. Later that day, on the 25th, Brittany walked to her friend's hotel that was a few miles away, but as she made her way back, she suddenly disappeared. The last message that she sent to her boyfriend John, who was in New York, was at 8:58 p.m. And when she stopped responding, he contacted Brittany's mother and murdered Brittany the same day she went missing. He is now eligible for the death sentence and he was charged with murder, kidnapping.
I'm gonna ruin your childhood. Have you ever...
Here's why you should always stay away from clowns. In 2004, a babysitter was babysitting a couple kids when she noticed something odd in the corner of the room. There was this really creepy clown statue, and no matter how she kind of moved herself, she always felt like it was looking right at her. She then got a call from the parents to see how the kids were doing. She said, yeah, everything's going alright, but what's with that clown statue? There was an eerie silence for a second, and the parents answered, you don't own a clown statue. The babysitter immediately ran upstairs, grabbed the kids, and ran outside. She quickly called 911, and this is what the cops found. They said they found the clown hiding under one of the kids' beds with a sharpened screwdriver. Thank goodness you got out of there when you did.
Today we googled which massive bodybuilders have completely lost their gains. So in at number 5 is Paul Dillers. Now this guy was absolutely massive, weighing at almost 300 pounds. He competed for years but retired in 2006. And when he stopped training, time was not kind to his gains and he is now almost unrecognizable. In 4th place is Mustafa Mohammed. Now he was one of the most promising bodybuilders at the time, but he mysteriously quit when he was in his prime. If you saw him today, you would have never known that he was once an absolute monster. In 3rd place is Jean-Pierre Fuchs. Now he was the kind of bodybuilder that turned heads at every competition, but after snapping both of his knees while squatting, he retired and he lost all of his gains. In 2nd place is Tom Prince. Now he was considered to have one of the best physiques when he was competing, but his kidneys actually failed, I think we know why, which ultimately forced him into retirement. Since then his body is completely shrunk, leaving no trace of the massive muscle he once possessed. And in at number 1 is the king of bodybuilding, the 8-time Mr. Olympia champion, and one of the biggest and strongest bodybuilders of the modern era, Ronnie Coleman. And although he's had to have 12 spine surgeries and literally learn how to walk again, he still manages to get into the gym every single day, but he only held on to breaking.
Could you guys get gains like that, man? I feel like to me that's too much, bro. All that that just looks extra meat, man, on the bone, bro. I don't know if I can do that.
New research published yesterday has revealed that crows experience a much higher level of consciousness than we previously thought. A study into their brain revealed that crows experience primary consciousness, previously only observed in primates. We've always known crows were clever. They are excellent problem solvers, and creepily enough, research has shown that when a crow encounters a mean human, it will then teach other crows how to identify the human. Research has also shown that crows never forget a face, so remember that next time you're messing with one. The fact that crows, which last shared a common ancestor with primates 320 million years ago, are aware of themselves and their thoughts means we may have to completely rethink our understanding of consciousness and which animals experience it.
Interesting. I've seen a crow play tic-tac-toe before, so that's not surprising. Watching these kids together with you guys, man. Expanding my mind horizons.
Terrifying facts about the ocean. Let's get into it. So we've explored roughly 5% of the ocean, leaving many things and creatures yet to be discovered. Also, sunlight penetrates about 700 feet into the ocean, and after that we're in a murky black abyss where we cannot see anything, but many things can still see us. There are about 3 million shipwrecks, with countless human bodies being eaten by many undiscovered and unexplained organisms, so that's terrifying and horrible to think about. Also, there are many unexplained disappearances, from ships to planes to people. Also, the pressure at the bottom of the ocean is so immense it equates to 50 jumbo jets being being piled on top of us. There are also plenty of terrifying and deadly diseases that eat our flesh while we are still alive in the ocean. Plenty of creatures have just been discovered, including the giant squid and the basking shark, so who knows what other giant and massive and deadly creatures have yet to be discovered. Also, here's a terrifying situation to think about. We cannot swim up out of the ocean very quick or we will die of something called the bends. So imagine being deep down in the ocean and trying to escape, but realizing you cannot swim up, so you are fucked by whatever creature is chasing you. Also, there are tons of dead bodies. Yeah.
This is the shocking true story of the man who was born with a second face attached to the back of his head. This is Edward Mordrake. He described the extra face on the back of his head as the devil's twin. The extra face couldn't speak, however, it could laugh and cry separate from Edward's emotions. At age 23, he pleaded with doctors to remove this second face. However, after doctors refused to remove the second face, he sadly killed.
Gary thinks you should never ask Siri. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend. I think she's listening. Number 1 is when the world is going to end. Number 2 is what's your favorite animal? Show a smile with an animal that doesn't exist anymore and is cursed. Number 3 is when's the robot apocalypse? Comment down below what you responded with and like for a part 2.
I'll be asking Siri some real questions. I don't.
Because everyone's talking about the possible serial killer in Grand Junction, Colorado, let me tell you about one of their most infamous murder cases. The Blacks were a picture-perfect family of born-again Christians until November 13th, 2001, when Michael came home to a pool of blood. His wife Jennifer and 6-year-old daughter Abby missing. The back door was left open, Jennifer's purse was spilled out on the floor, and her jewelry was missing. But when authorities looked at the crime scene, something was off. If a stranger had broken into their home, why would they leave items of value behind, like guns and cash? And why would they move the bodies in Jennifer's van and return it to the family's garage? In May the following year, investigators start digging through the Mesa County landfill, and after removing 3,000 tons of trash, they find the mummified remains of Jennifer Black, wrapped in a tent and surrounded by trash from her husband's workplace. Michael was convicted for only his wife's murder in 2004, but 13 years later he got a second shot at freedom. It turns out a juror lied on her questionnaire about being a victim of DV. In 2018 he got the same result, life in prison without the possibility of parole. And despite being convicted twice, he refuses to reveal the location of his 6-year-old daughter Abby. It's believed her remains are still deep in the Mesa County.
Pure monster, man. Crazy ass story.
Horrifying facts you haven't knew.
In 1988, Iranian man Mehran Karimi Nasseri was traveling to the UK with his briefcase containing essential refugee documents. Was stolen from him at a Paris train station. Unable to prove his identity to British immigration officials, Nasseri was returned to France and found himself completely stranded in Terminal 1 of Paris's main airport. He remained there for an astonishing 18 years, during which he became a fixture in the terminal, residing on a red bench surrounded by his belongings, writing in his diary and engaging with airport staff and travelers. In 2006, Nasseri was hospitalized, finally ending his long stay at the airport. He later lived in a Paris shelter, before returning to the airport in 2022. Where he would spend his final days, before dying of a heart attack in the same terminal. His unique situation inspired several works, most notably the 2004 film The Terminal, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Hanks.
Here are some cool things about animals that you probably didn't know. Ants will form living rafts with their bodies. Some will drown so others can float. Bearded dragons can change their sex in the egg depending on the temperature. Flying snakes will flatten their bodies and glide through the air like living frisbees. That is absolutely terrifying. Koalas have fingerprints that are so human-like that they have been confused in police investigations for humans. Wombats poop cubes, and not only that, they stack them like bricks to mark their territory. Male antagonists mate non-stop for 14 hours, then die from immune system collapse. A female giant panda is only capable of conceiving a cub for 24 to 72 hours once a year. Salmon return to their birthplace to spawn, then die. Arctic terns migrate 50,000 miles annually to take advantage of both the summer conditions in the Arctic and in Antarctica. Wisdom the albatross is still laying eggs at nearly 70 years old and has been tracked since 1956. Wasps save $417 billion in crops each year by eating pests. Pistol shrimp stun prey with bubble shockwaves, disrupting small reef ecosystems. Termites do actually eat wood faster when listening to rock music. Penguins will actually nap thousands of times a day, which helps them survive these brutal Antarctic conditions they live in. Parasitic wasps will inject spiders with venom and force them to build baby nests.
Which countries have the most serial killers? On average, in your lifetime, you will walk past 36 murderers / serial killers. So that actually got me thinking, which countries have the most serial killers? And of course, there's a study, and here are the results. The top 21 countries with the most serial killers, so the countries with the least, are Sweden, the Netherlands, Scotland, Poland, Spain, and Hungary. Placing 15th to 11th, we have Austria, Brazil, Mexico, China, and France. Okay, now this is the top 10 countries that have produced the most serial killers. We have Russia, India, Australia, Germany, and Japan. Placing in the top 5, we have Italy with 97, Canada with 106, South Africa with 117, England with 166, and the United States with 3,204. Now send this to someone who you know lives in one of these countries because you made the list.
Is that Bigfoot? Or is that Cap?
Look at the size of this little bitch. It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here.
Tell him to come here? You crazy.
This now.
I'm calling a cap on the last one. You saw what was in the door, right? Oh, he tripping out. What the fuck? No face, what the f- Hell no. I'm out.
Hello? I can see you. Come out.
What the f-
Hello?
They don't know what to do. Hit the jets.
Don Ramon. This is a creepypasta about how far Don Ramon had to go to be able to feed his daughter. It goes like this. One night Don Ramon was trying to sleep but wasn't able to because he was hungry. He was also able to hear La Chilindrina grunting and crying. Due to her also being hungry, Don Ramon had enough and said to himself that he would find a job first thing first tomorrow to be able to feed his daughter. As morning came, he went to find a job. He applied everywhere. He came across a butchery shop and applied. They hired him immediately. Due to short staff, and he was put to work. At the end of his shift, as he was about to wrap up and go home, he realized he wasn't going to get paid, nor be able to afford food. That's when he thought of stealing some of the meat that he butchered. He said to himself, no one's gonna notice. He went home and began cooking the meat. La Chilindrina was confused about the meat. But most importantly, she felt happy and began to imagine how it will taste. As Don Ramon was cooking the meat, he told her that she won't have to worry about food, that they will eat meat every day, and she will never starve at nights anymore. Don Ramon went happily to sleep and excited about his job tomorrow. As he arrived to work the next day, he noticed his boss waiting angrily at the door. His boss began screaming at Don Ramon, saying that he stole from him and that he was fired. Don Ramon tried apologizing and begging for a second chance, but his boss threatened to call the cops if he didn't leave. Don Ramon couldn't come home empty-handed, and especially after the promise he made to his daughter, he wandered on the streets and went home. As he was sitting on his kitchen table with no food, he heard knocking on his door. He knew who it was. Only one person knocks like that. It's Señor Barriga. He was here for the rent. Don Ramon felt trapped. Everything was going bad for him. The knock kept getting louder and harder. That's when he opened the door with a knife. Señor Barriga didn't have time to react. He was stabbed in his throat. Don Ramon took him to the kitchen as he slowly died. Don Ramon wasn't thinking. All he was thinking was about La Chilindrina starving. Don Ramon began butchering him. He began organizing the meats in bags and began cleaning before his daughter came home from school. He locked the kitchen door and began to cook. La Chilindrina came home and saw 2 delicious plates in the table. She rushed to her seat and began eating.
She ate that too? Oh, that's a very disturbing creepypasta. What the hell walked behind the box? Did we just see a door move? Is my mom playing tricks on me? What the fuck? Why was it sounding like hump his damn leg? I don't do doors, y'all. For that exact reason. I'm telling y'all, man. Dogs be creeping me out, bro. 1 second, they don't see them. The next, they just staring at you, bro. They can be creepy vibes, man.
Anxiety.
Ain't for me.
Oh my god. You're kidding, right? You're no. Kidding.
While checking out the room, a friend of Elsa suddenly feels a burning sensation on his back. Wanting to ensure that he wasn't imagining this burning feel, he lifts up his shirt to show his friends. But to their shock, they see what looks to be scratch marks running across his lower back. Elsa's friend swears that he hadn't scratched his back. Something in this room had done this.
You saw that, right? That's insane, man. Like a spirit was like clawing at him. What we waiting for? I see it like the side of the stairs. What the? I see that, right? It's literally trying to come down the stairs. Movement is so slow. I didn't see the croc. Oh man. Did he just say come in? careful. Oh, man, they were that close.
It's 10:30 at night when an elementary school teacher in Washington is working late. The teacher is busy preparing his lesson for the next day when he spots something that gives him the creeps.
Alright,
Check it out.
I'm just finishing up, putting up decorations for the students when they get back. I was on the smart board, setting things up. I'm taking a step back, and you guys know me. I stay late often. It's just me here and the janitor. And let me show you.
Show us, man. Need his proof.
Do you see? Do you see?
No. Oh, I see it now.
Is that not a kid sitting right there?
It is, and if you're looking close right here, there's definitely something in that reflection. He's not tripping. I see it. Seen that Twilight Zone or something?
The teacher is completely alone in the classroom, but in the reflection of a screen, someone appears to be sitting in one of the desks. Someone about the size of a small child. The teacher later tries to capture the strange reflection on camera again, but whatever that was has now disappeared. But this story gets even weirder, because the janitor who works at the school says that he believes the eerie apparition is the ghost of a little girl who tragically passed away in an accident on school property.
I'm the person who does the cleaning here, and I saw the video the teacher has. I know that's the girl who died in an accident.
What is happening? I wanted to respect their privacy, but they just put a girl in the back of the ambulance. And the dad was running, and the poor mom was crying her head off.
All through these videos, they connected.
So could this mysterious figure be the spirit of the little girl returning to class from beyond? I leave that to you to decide.
Hey, that's to the seekers as well, man. Come up with your own explanations. That's a walk. Run, bro.
This is probably one of the most unintentionally hilarious videos of haunting I've ever seen. Because the way my man decides to handle this is just... mwah.
My front camera is smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now.
You hear that?
I always say it's not haunted because the house is a little old. but it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost or if it's a person, I don't care.
Get your guards up.
Who's up there? Oh my god, they're like at the top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise.
What the? Okay, what the?
He warned that skinwalkers don't exist by going inside a forest allegedly full of these creatures, and it didn't end well. He started off by calling them in their native tongue. But nothing happened yet, except that he felt like he was being watched and heard some noises. But that's normal in the middle of the forest. So after seeing some poop, he decided it was time to use the death whistle to summon the creatures, which, as you may already know from my previous video, can be heard even from several hundred meters and can easily attract a skinwalker. After using it, he heard the rustling in the bushes again.
Well, I started hearing some rustling off in the bushes, so I decided to go investigate because, well, that was the only logical thing to do. But, you know, that's honestly maybe a little bit more concerning because I'm not really sure what animal's out here and I'm starting to feel like I'm being watched even more.
It seemed that his bravery had scared off the creatures, but to confirm they don't exist, he decided the next most logical thing to do was performing one last ritual before leaving. And after his video went viral, many people commented saying they saw Skinwalker's eyes staring at him in the background.
I'm pretty far out in this forest completely alone, and my gut's telling me to turn around, so I'm going to do exactly the opposite of what it says and do one of the most terrifying things I've ever done.
After watching it, let me know if you believe they are real.
Skinwalker, Skinwalker, Skinwalker. I'm bait for ya. Come and get me and prove that you're real. Unless you're a coward.
He performed it. That ain't it.
So my mother was showing me that she opened a banana, that she thinks that these are not real bananas. We got it from the supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue. It's very tight and doughy.
They mess with the food.
Put a magnet. Then I got some here. The great value.
Shit, no, we know they been messing with the food. It's all rubbery. Nah, eat a banana.
Throughout the internet and shit, and it was about a jinn what interrupted a conversation on live TV. Okay. So, live show where people call in and basically just ask questions and stuff. But this specific show is a Muslim show.
So it's not related to no spiritual stuff or no like scary stuff.
Well, it's mainly focused on Islam, Muslim beliefs and stuff. And people call in to speak to the sheikh. Okay. I don't really know how to pronounce it. And his name is Abu Muhammad. A woman calls. At first it's a regular like conversation and shit. But then stuff starts getting weird.
Allah's name on the left leg. Also,
on the edge right now. Just keep watching.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا. Give her the power to continue her speech, Ya Allah.
Is that one person in my pillow?
Oh
What
my
is to
God,
carry with
no.
me?
Who created you and why?
Why she sound like that?
Huh?
She ended up saying that.
Baal? B-A-A-L? The fucking demon?
What they're saying that was a jinn, which it's not a demon, it's not an angel or anything like that. It's just another spirit that can choose whether it wants to be evil or whether it wants to be good.
That was some weird things on the phone. What we saying? Can't ignore that.
Oh my fucking god, I swear to god, this thing just fucking looked at me. Oh my fuck.
Grandpa, can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh crap.
God.
You need an umbrella? Are you okay?
What the?
Your makeup's running. Dogs are ready for
It's a
bed.
glitch in the Matrix.
Just a peaceful night here. Get ready to go to bed myself. What the fuck is that? What? Oh, God!
So I got off work and, this is what I come home to. Which would be cool. But, well, and there's nobody here.
Someone playing a prank on him?
So, maybe, did you run the bath? Were you gonna take it? What the fuck?
Lock the door on him too?
Did you? Tell me I'm on fucking crack. Every time I turn off the light, there's like a shadow there. Watch. You see that? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Tell me I'm not on fucking crack, dude. Hell no. What the fuck? I'm out of here. Mom, I really don't think I'm ever gonna lose this shit. Listen to that. I don't think. Jesus. I mean, this is my whole closet right here.
Double lock.
My kitchen.
Beneath the waves,
Too realistic.
ancient warriors sleep in silence. The ocean holds many secrets, and some refuse to be forgotten.
What the? No fears? What is it? We saw that. Harris, what the It's like they got a ritual going on, man. Why is it circling in a grave?
Raylan? What's happening with your...
Okay, broken doll, what the hell? Mom. Who drew that? You know it wasn't the damn doll. You knew that was that at the end, man. Club game, that's it, man, for the reaction video for you guys today. Seekers. All I'm asking for is for you guys to comment down below. Hit that thumbs up button, man. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload my next video. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.